All right, Dave. So we watched Knives Out for this week. What did you think of it?
It turned out to be good.
It's very good. I really enjoy it.
hmm
Uh, okay. So did you know anything about the movie going in?
Surprisingly, actually, a little bit for a strange but interesting sort of reason. I randomly come across a person that discussed about another similar detective show from the past.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, there was a clip of it within the movie.
Oh, okay. Oh, is
But
it? Go ahead.
oh, sorry. Just the case, it was a Murder She Wrote.
Yeah. Is it Pushing Up Roses?
So I believe that was the episode title. Yes.
Yeah. No, I've watched all of her videos about Murder She Wrote. Actually, they're really good.
hmm But it was also sort of a case of the style that Knives Out took for its detective mystery.
Yeah. It's a very it's a throwback to stuff that would have been popular in like the '60s and '70s.
hmm
So what was the story of Knives Out, Dave?
Well, doing my best to recollect the story from that, there was a suicide suicide that happened within a very rich family, and trying to run through the process of will concerns and other sorts of things. But then also the case, how did this happen? All the particular stuff with going through all the concerns of the whole family as well as the caretaker, who's the main focus of the story, and running through all the points of how everything sort of happened and how the big detective person that came into the story figures all the particular stuff out as well.
Yeah, so Harlan Thrombey, who's like a mystery novelist, dies on his 85th birthday in his mansion with his throat slit. They're like, oh, it's a suicide. And then Benoit Blanc, who is played by Daniel Craig, is hired by a mysterious benefactor to investigate the potential of it being a murder. Is basically. It's okay. So, one of the reasons I actually really like this movie is it like it plays fair with its mystery. Like all the clues are there if you pay attention.
Yeah, very true.
Like it doesn't like a lot of like we'll use like Murder She Wrote as an example, but usually in those episodes, like there's one crucial piece of information they never give you.
hmm
Whereas this one, if you pay attention, you can figure out what happened. You probably
Yeah, with
won't.
all that particular sort of stuff. And sometimes it's a case of it's one of those particular things where if you're not focusing on it or you don't pay attention to it, you completely miss it. But every single little bit of information that's kind of shown is something that's vital to the story.
Yeah, and it's like there's all these like little clues, and if you're probably never going to get it on a first watch, like
Mm.
the solution. But when you watch it a second or third time, you're like, oh shit, they basically told you. It's such a good script,
hmm
and it's also like an all star cast. Like it's an incredible cast.
Just huge. Like, again, with the couple of obvious big names completely, but with almost everyone that was in there, they're big stars in their own rights.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll just run through some of the cast quickly. You've got, like I said, Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc. You've got Chris Evans as Ransom Drysdale, Jamie Lee Curtis as Linda Drysdale, Michael Shannon as Walt Thrombey, Don Johnson as Richard Drysdale. Who else is in this? There, Christopher Plummer as Harlan Thrombey. Like, there's a ton of people in this movie, and it's so good. It's just so much fun.
And again, just with the particular style of it, like you were mentioning with other particular ones, it gives you pieces, but it's not until that one last vital piece that you don't get till the end that you solve it from this. But it's also a case of you see everything that sort of happens, and it's following the best sort of word, the murderer's perspective on things, while the detective is solving everything to get to that specific point.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's a really well written script. Like it's really clever in how it gives you the information and does it in like a fun, interesting way. Like it doesn't feel like it's a fun movie to sit down and watch. Like it's not,
Hmm.
like there's some good jokes in it and stuff that kind of like they keep a really good tone. It's not super serious.
Hmm.
Like it is, but it isn't.
Well, serious within the context of everything, but not so much within the story and movie itself.
Yeah, like it's not like a full on comedy like Clue, but it's not, super serious either. Like it strikes a really nice balance. And I can't wait for the sequel.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So they've already confirmed Knives Out 2 and 3 are going direct to Netflix.
Okay.
2 hopefully will be out next year. Fingers crossed.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see because I think the only returning cast member is going to be Daniel Craig
Hmm.
because you can't really kind of bring the rest of the cast back. But
Yeah, it's tricky.
yeah, well, some of them
But that
especially.
is also a case of he would probably be the easiest since kind of being the detective coming into the story in that sort of case.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of the idea is they want to do like a Agatha Christie thing where you have, Poirot solving all these different crimes and he has like a different cast around him each time.
mhm.
So just for fun, for Knives Out 2, they've announced a couple of cast members, and they're getting
Okay.
such a good cast again. So obviously Daniel Craig is Benoit Blanc, Dave Batista in an unnamed role,
Hmm.
Drax.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, Edward Norton,
Hmm.
Leslie Odom Jr., who I don't know if you'd be familiar with, but he was in
I think.
Hamilton.
Okay. A couple
Uh,
faces are coming, but I can't exactly place it. But still, just with anyone from the Hamilton cast would definitely be a good fit.
yeah, Ethan Hawke, who again is probably a name you've heard, but you might not. But yeah, there's Kate Hudson. There's a really good cast that's announced for this, and I'm like, just inject it directly into my veins. So, you're not like I'm gonna. Are you much of like a mystery kind of person, or because I don't think you are, but I could be wrong.
It's not something that I specifically search out. It's definitely not a case of I watch it for trying to solve the case or any sort of thing like that. I definitely enjoy with watching it from there. Again, it would mostly just depend on how the mystery would go about it. If it would be too much for me to handle to figure it out on my own sort of case, or just leave me in the dark completely.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching stuff like this with my parents, so that's probably why I enjoy it so much.
Hmm.
Right? Because I was watching shows like Law and Order when I was too young to be watching them.
Makes a decent amount of sense.
Like I think I was 5, but whatever.
Hmm.
I quite enjoyed this. I can't wait to see the sequel, like I said, and yeah, it's just it's a good time. So Dave, now that we've had a little bit of a chat about Knives Out, I want to suggest what we do next. See if you're
What were
game
you
for
thinking?
it. Well,
What were you thinking?
I'm thinking we might do something a little bit different instead of doing a movie.
Okay, different than a movie. Still kind of sticking within the theme of the end of this month, heading into next month, though.
No, doing something a little different because I'm going to be doing some other horror stuff. So, and then unless
Mm.
you're dying to do a horror movie, I could definitely pick a horror movie.
No worries. What was the thought that you were thinking?
I was thinking we might take our time and go through the series Firefly.
Oh, yes.
Have you ever seen Firefly?
No, I think at the very most would have just been a clip or two of specific characters and the couple of things that you and I believe Justin have possibly explained or shown your admiration for the show.
I don't think Justin would have seen Firefly, but I could be wrong.
Hmm.
I don't feel like Justin watches a lot of like sci-fi.
Hmm.
Do you know anything about Firefly?
Again, little bits.
Okay.
Specific actors within the show, base concept, nothing too much.
Yeah, so it's a western in space.
I'm remembering that one thing and I'm doing my best to suppress it, but let's leave that alone for a moment.
Also, it has a great theme song.
Also, yes, but it's been quite a while since I've heard it.
Okay, well, we're all gonna enjoy a little bit of the Firefly theme, which I probably can't play on the video, but I don't know. I'm gonna quickly message it to you because it's a banger.
I think mostly just the question of supposedly where it hiding or how to watch, aside from sending it to the things.
I will give you a copy later today.
Alrighties.
That's not a problem. So anyway, we'll cut this video off, and then you'll listen to the theme song, and it'll be good. So next week we're gonna start some Firefly. It's gonna be good. Until next time, I'm Paul,
And I'm Dave.